Welcome to the Cashflow Project podcast. Are you looking to better your financial situation by increasing your cash flow? Too busy to hunt for real estate deals or don't know where to start? Then you're in the right spot. Join us as we dive in and talk about investing for cash flow using multifamily real estate.
Welcome to the Cashflow Project podcast. I'm your host, Steve Fierros of Tri-City Equity Group. Today, super excited. We've got Mike Merrigan and Kort on the show. So Mike and Bo are both serial entrepreneurs, have multiple successful companies spanning a wide range of industries. So we're going to dive in a little bit into that today. That includes laundromats, video stores for some of us are a little bit older. We definitely can relate to some of that. And now pool and landscaping, contracting to self-storage, commercial multifamily. They now oversee a $150 million commercial real estate portfolio running an impressive 43 companies. So here to share a little bit in their entrepreneurial experience and their journey. Mike, Bo, welcome to the show, guys.
How you doing? Hey, man. Thanks for having us. I'm Mike. I'm Bo. And there's Bo. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for hopping on and helping to share your experience, your wisdom with me, with our listeners. I know we're excited to dive in, talk a little bit about your story and your journey, because you guys have quite a varied history, I think, in terms of experience, going through it thick and thin. And so we definitely want to dive in. So for those of our listeners that may not be familiar with you guys, give us a little bit about your individual backstory, let's say, and then how it came to be that you guys are working together now, bringing massive amounts of value and experience to individuals and listeners just like myself and to all of our people on our show.
Well, Mike and we've been best friends since we were in our 20s. Mike's a few years older than me and we went to the same high school, less than 3-4 miles down the road from here, small town community. Both of us had that entrepreneurial spirit from the time we were young men and jumped right at it the minute that we got the opportunity. Mike actually was in Rotary Club with my dad when he was like 19 years old. So there's a bunch of these old cats and then there's this young guy in there. I'm like, who the hell is that? My dad's like, this guy named Mike Merrigan. And I kind of got to know him through my dad at that point, but we've been best friends for a lot of years and business partners for probably the last 10. Started out grinding. Mike was doing video stores and laundromats. I was a bread distribution company and then jumped into swimming pools. Mike jumped into furniture. And then we partnered up back in 2015 with his brother, started chasing commercial real estate. And then it just started rolling from there. I mean, it's been a wild 8-9 years that we've been doing it together. Started a fabrication company out in Texas, owned 5 motorsports out in Texas. We own Houston Motorsports, bought our first one about 3 years ago, and then have scaled to 5 of them now. Got a swimming pool company here, got one in Texas together with Mike. We're in any industry that it seems like it's going to cash flow right out of the gate and make some money. And the same with the real estate side. We chase everything from multifamily we got verbos, we've got light industrial, we got flex space, we got self-storage, we got climate-controlled storage, we chase big box stores. And you could go on and on. But no, it's been a fun run, man.
Absolutely.
Been good.
Yeah, no, I mean, like even just that list is just impressive, right? Because you hear a lot of, okay, hey, I operate this one business, right? And this is all we do. So I'm curious, did you guys come from, like, let's say your individual families, right? Like, is it entrepreneurship? It's just coursing through your veins and
parents are a lot of the same. I mean, they were old school business people. So it was like one of those things where, no, you need to change your oil on the weekend and then you need to sweep the shop and you need to do your own books, all that kind of stuff. And so we probably did that and got a lot of experience and made a lot of mistakes when we were first in business. But then once we realized how easy it was going to be to scale by just surrounding yourself with good people, we've done that. And then everything just kind of blew up once we started backing ourselves out of every business that we've ever started. Mike's always been really good about that though. Like he's got multiple furniture stores and doesn't have a key to one of them. I'm like, how do you not have a key to your own business? He's like, that's what I put the manager in place for. They're the ones that you set the expectations for them. I expect them to make the calls. He goes, if someone runs through the front of my building, he goes, don't call me. He goes, you better get the cops out there. You better fill out the police report. You better hire the contractor, get 3 different bids, get ServPro out there and do whatever it takes. Then you can call me afterwards. And taking that approach, it seems kind of harsh, but at the same time, that's how you empower your people. You end up leveling them up and then you're able to scale.
One thing when I got started, and again, it was my last job is I was 18 years old, been self-employed my whole life. And it did start out with, I was able to partner up with a distant cousin who had a chain of video stores up north in Fargo. and met up with him and told him I wanted to do something in Arizona. He was willing to expand. So I got started there, but I don't have a memory of not trying to make money. I've always been in business in some way from 6 years old on. But I realized early by watching my parents that wasn't the way I wanted to just work and own and have a job business, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I just knew it wasn't for me. And once I got my first video store, I knew then and it was extremely successful. The first day we opened, it was successful. Back then you just had a location, you made money. But I knew one of anything was not going to be enough. Right away I knew, okay, so this is doing well. I got partners. This isn't going to be enough because we're already killing it. So then when I opened my second and third store, I knew, well, I can't be everywhere. So then I had to develop a way of just going, guess what? I want to open these businesses. So I can only open businesses that, one, make enough profit to pay all the expenses, make enough profit to hire a manager and pay him, and make enough profit to pay me, and have enough profit to have extra to expand and scale that business, put it back into the business or whatever. So that's how I got started in that mentality. We've just kept that going, and it went into real estate. So our thing is whether you're a W-2 employee or you're a self-employed person, is making enough money, being in a business that you can scale, and then take the profits from those businesses and buy real estate. And so we've never taken money really out of the real estate portion, especially when we get started in one section. We had probably over 40 storage complexes before we took $1. And that's 5 years, 40 complexes, and none of the partners took one single dollar. We just put it back in. But at the same time, we were building our businesses, paying ourselves, and taking the profits from those businesses and throwing it into real estate. And that's how it allowed us to grow real estate without having a bunch of syndications and things that you only owe a portion, and you're taking all the fees out of the money to go, that's what I deserve. We don't do that. We partner up with people, we expand businesses, and we own what we own. We don't have 2% of anything.
Do you feel like that's just hearing, you share that, do you feel like that's a stumbling block for, let's say, a lot of entrepreneurs that you guys maybe meet or coach, is not focusing, let's say, on an industry that would be scalable, right? Because that's obviously a minimum threshold to
go
into any kind of business that you guys are looking at, right? It's like, well, look, if I can't scale this, then what's the point? I mean, especially at where you guys are kind of in your career stage, life stage. Do you feel like that you run across that quite a bit where, hey, like your idea is just not scalable, and we need to visit maybe another industry or another field or something along those lines to kind of help, let's say, coach somebody up?
I feel that happens a lot of times. I mean, I was on a call yesterday with a young man that we're coaching, and he's starting a management company for Burbos, and Mike's son does that, and it has blown it up, done really well with it. And he's happy with it. But at the same time, he's trying to find a way to back himself out. And it's really tough to do in that business, especially in our smaller community that we're in. But I think we recognize that a lot more now in any industry that we get into is, first, how easy is this going to be able to scale? And then how much time is it going to demand from us? Because we only have so much time, and we've got, like you said earlier, we've got 43 different companies, but we've got partners and managers in each one of those companies that are solid people that we have the confidence that we can go out and chase real estate and do the things that we do on the daily. And it's in good hands whenever we turn it over to them. But if you don't have that in place, or there's not enough, like Mike was talking about, if it's not bringing enough revenue in to pay someone well or partner with somebody, then it's probably something you might want to think twice about getting into, especially as you get older. It's harder.
One thing when we talk to other business owners, everything Bo just said is I agree with 100%, but sometimes it's as simple as a business owner like our folks that simply isn't charging enough. The business is scalable if you charge more. Yeah. And so many people, well, those are my customers and other good friends. I don't want to charge more. And that's how we end up with so many pieces of property. Is we're not big into development. Not that we don't do them. We do developments, but we love buying them from people that don't recognize or have become friends with their customer. It's business. And so they don't want to raise the rates, but you could be in an AC business. You could be in a pool cleaning business. You could be in a lot of things. All you have to do is raise your rates. You could be pool cleaning and go, well, it's just not scalable. Well, it's not scalable for the price you're charging. What if you double the price because you haven't raised the price in 10 years? Mm-hmm. And then you can hire someone and you can go do sales. But most people that are in business, they're not thinking of the bigger picture. So you got to step back and go, hey, get advice from somebody. If it's not us, get it from somebody of how do I make this business scalable? maybe it isn't scalable, but maybe you're just not charging enough. And it's crazy how many times that is the problem. We'll buy a piece of real estate from someone. Hey, here you go. This is what it's worth, because they're renting it at this amount. All we have to do is go, okay, here's your asking price. By the way, when this lease expires, he's 50% under what he should be charging. And now we've just stole the property. So there's a lot of low hanging fruit out there from people that just don't charge enough. It's crazy, but that's the lowest hanging fruit there is. Keep your business, don't change anything, and raise your rates. Guess what? People got money, and for a good service of someone that's going to do the job, do what they say, you can charge almost what you want.
Yeah, that actually really hits home. My dad had a mechanic shop, so I grew up, with an entrepreneurial father, and I saw that his customers loved him because he's just the nicest guy, the nicest guy in town, knew exactly what he was doing, been working on cars his whole life, and just criminally undercharged, right? Just did, no, that's okay, just come back next time, and then never scaled a business. Never got it to the point where he could step away. Because again, everybody wants to come to Pop and get their car fixed because he takes care of you. And it's like, yeah, but he can't take care of anybody else.
You're not taking care of himself.
Bo bought his bread business from his dad.
Mm-hmm.
When Bo came in and said, I want to start charging him this for bread, and I want to bring in this sourdough, fluffy wheat, something or whatever the hell else, and I want to charge this. Bo's dad about has a heart attack.
Yeah.
You can't charge that. Those guys can't afford it. And he's like, yeah, you can. And he bought the business, and Bo Wally doesn't spend 3 hours a week on that business, and his dad spent 60 hours a week on that same business, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's common. Me being in construction, I've been in construction for the last 20 years, building swimming pools. We built spec homes. We do landscape, outdoor kitchen. We do it all. And then there's a bunch of other contractors around town that I know them really well. I mean, I built pools for them if they have customers and they want us to come in and build a pool. But they're always grabbing me, pulling me off to the side going, dude, there's just no money in this business. And I'm like, the thing about it is, I go, you need to fire your estimators. And they're like, fuck you, Bo. You know I do my own estimates. I go, exactly. Fire yourself, man. I go, you don't value what you do. I go, be a badass and charge like a badass.
Thank you.
Why not? People will pay it. If you perform and do what you say you're going to do,
yes,
people will pay.
Because most people don't do what they say they're going to do. And most people go for the lower bid and get a shitty job. Well, if you show up and you clean up every night after the job and you do what you say you're going to do and you provide an unbelievable service on a quality product and you take it to the end, boom, you're doing what 90% of most businesses don't do. Most businesses get halfway through, 3/4 of the way through. They don't finish the punch list. There's an argument at the end. They're fighting over little dollars. And then it's a bad relationship and there's no referrals. That's not how we do business. We take it to the end. We're going to push through every single business we're in. We're trying in a furniture business. I love retail. I've tried to provide an unbelievable furniture buying experience because I realize every furniture store is a brown box on the side of the road with a bunch of furniture that you can buy online or any other brown box on the side of the road. So there's nothing special about what we sell. The experience I can make special all the way to the delivery drivers. Make it special, or else you're just an idiot on the side of the road selling furniture. And there's no money. You can't scale that. Guess what? I can scale furniture stores because of this customer service, because I never drop my margin. I get my margin. When pandemic happened and the sofa was $3,500 and it went to $7,000, the price tag changed to $7,000 because I have to make my margin. I'm not going to eat it. Maybe I quit carrying that product till the price comes back down, but it's business. You have to make your money. And we don't gouge anybody. There's a margin that has to be made. We make the margin.
Because we took those same philosophies in business and then took it to real estate and acquisitions. And we're not just calling up a realtor, hey, go look at this property for us. We do that also. We look on LoopNet. We look at stuff that's on the market.
Whatever.
But we chase and develop relationships with off-market deals. And then if we don't buy them the first interaction, which never happens, normally you get a no. And then you just go, well, at some point you're going to want to sell. So here's my number and I'll stop back by. If you don't have a problem, I'll come see you in another 3 months or 6 months and just stop in if you guys are cool with that. Oh yeah, stop back by, Bo. Next thing you get a phone call and it might be 2 years later. It might be 8 years later. And that's happened for us, but just taking that same approach that we do with customer service and business and establish relationships with people in real estate, and you close a shitload of deals, man.
Monday morning, we're going to take a tour of a piece of property that we looked at in 2019 from an older couple that wanted to retire. The price was a little too high, but they kept their price. 5 years later, or 2019, do the math for me, they never retired. They just now closed their business. And so all the dreams they had for the last 5 years, now they've lowered the price $200,000. They haven't left town, and now they hate their property. Oh, it went back up on the market 2 days ago. We're going to be there, and we're making an offer on Monday. But sometimes our deals take years. So as long as you're patient, and we're busy with our businesses, and we're buying real estate, we're the most patient people there are. You say no, that just means maybe later. Can you talk to me later? And we never take no for no. We're buying a piece of property on Monday that we looked at in 2019, and it actually seems quick.
Yeah.
Because we just got so many other things happening, but we end up with them. These old people in the country, they're all retiring, or if they don't retire, they let their buildings sit empty because they don't even know what to do with them. They don't want to deal with the used car salesman type realtors. So some of those old grumpy guys have bad attitude about that. They'll just let weeds and shit grow up, and then we drive by, we find them, we find distressed properties, make offers, and a lot of times it's their asking price because they just aren't asking enough, especially when it's off market. Once a realtor gets a hold of them and goes, geez, old Bob, you only bought it for $79,000. It's worth $479 now. They might just think, God, if I could double my money. But once the realtors get involved, they usually try to ask too much. That's why we don't have a lot of luck doing that. But as long as we can get to the owner, give them what they want, negotiate, take years, a lot of times we get the properties.
Now, I'm curious too, like that, like obviously you guys have a ton going on, right? You got 43 different businesses that you made mention of right there. It's like, well, look, we've got so much other stuff that we've got going on. You would 100% have to have a system in order to track, kind of follow up, track, let's say these deals, right? Because again, hey, you planted that seed way back when, right? But again, you didn't come back to kind of harvest the opportunity until they were ready several years down the road. Most people, just like you mentioned, agents and realtors, maybe other investors, other business owners would have just said, well, you know what, that's a dead deal. I'm not going to bother messing with that. You're right. That was years ago. Surely they're not going to want to sell, or they sold to somebody else.
Yeah.
Like how much, and I see you're smiling. So, that's obviously something you guys have seen before.
Yeah. But one, honestly, we truly do become friends and establish relationships with these people. And I get it to the point. I mean, I've been in sales all of my life in my businesses, and I probably operated inside of my businesses more than Mike did. At the beginning he did, but he backed out and scaled quicker. I was really involved with a lot of the sales, like in my pool company and stuff. So I knew how to close a deal. I knew it came through relationships and became really good friends with a lot of people that I built pools for. And so whenever it came over to buying real estate, I just treated it the same way. I mean, first name basis, stop in every 3 months. And then I always make sure that I close with, when I get the no from them, is all right, at some point in time, I know you're going to want to sell. I mean, we all do. If I buy it from you today, at some point, I'm going to want to sell it. So you're going to want to sell it at some point. Just do me a favor before you call a realtor or anybody, make sure I'm the first on your list. And you don't have to sell to me. And if we can't agree on a price, it's not a big deal. You can go to the realtor and list it and do whatever you need to do. But if you make me a promise, just give me a call and give me the first shot at it, because I love your building. And when you love something, being the person that owns it for the past 20 years and they've grinded and put everything into it, if somebody shows passion for something that you have passion about, then guess what? They like you. They want to see it passed on to somebody else that loves their building and has that same desire for it. And we do. We love the shit out of our buildings. We get our wives in our cars and we drive around to go show them the building. And we're like, all right, how many more buildings are we going to go look at? Let's go to dinner. But Mike and I, we love our buildings, from the shittiest looking one to the nicest looking concrete tilt up.
And most people, like what Bo's saying, you'd ask question, how do you, one, we have unbelievable partnerships, like in our storage complex. He's looking for property right now. This second, he's looking for another complex. So we partner with really good people that are just as hungry as us. The other thing is, most people take no for an answer. Bo's just like him. We don't even hear the word no. So no one's told us no, because we don't listen to that. That one just goes right by. So we've never heard no, and we never give up. And most people are pussies and give up. Let's be honest. That's the truth. They want to be in business. They think they want to be in business, but you're not willing to do every single thing to get to the line where you might die if you worked any harder. Go there and see how successful you are. So guess what? I'm working out. Well, you don't look like you've been to the gym in months to me. Well, you are going to the gym, but you're not really doing it, So yeah, I'm in business. You're not really doing it. So you know what I'm talking about. There's a degree of people that just go, holy shit, that guy blew it up. Well, how do you do it? He's sitting next to another guy in the same industry. One guy tried a hell of a lot harder and was willing to give up a lot more and sacrifice a lot more. So with our thing, we put in the hours, man. We put in the time, and we build a great team around us.
That's
that
what I was
help
going to
us
say.
do those
We've
things.
got an amazing team, man. We've
Can't do it
got
alone.
people, we got great partners that are at each business and blowing it up at every business. But we've got a great team of young people that work for us that are in the
Keep us
early
in line.
20s that keep us in line. We've got an assistant, Alana. She stands about that tall and about $110, and she will get in our ass.
On our
about,
ankles.
Hey, we got a schedule. You got a podcast. You got to make it for this. You got to make it for that. And she holds us accountable. We like it, but she keeps track of our business too. And nobody's getting to us.
And if we don't come through with what we say, she's pissed at us. And we don't ever turn down the volume on her. Like Bo goes, should we talk to her? I go, no, let her go. Keep it coming.
Yeah.
Keep hitting me. Keep biting my ankle. Because I like that. I like
it makes us better.
Yeah. Just like the old coach you think about back in high school. You admired that person for being on your ass. Well, we have people in our office that are on our ass, and we love it. We don't turn down the volume. Don't go, oh, you can't be saying that. We already know that.
We're the boss.
Yeah,
You can't talk to me like that.
You're right. I should have been here a half hour ago or whatever. So we love it. And we love it. We got a great
That's
team.
great. And then for our listeners that are kind of hearing all of that, right? Like these are obviously two very successful guys. And so, and even they wouldn't shy away, although you probably could justify it. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that do, they don't shy away from the accountability component, right? Because you're saying, hey, look, I've got a coordinator or whoever, anybody, sounds like you've got multiple people on your team that are, hey, look, they're holding you accountable too, right? Because at the end of the day, like, hey, all the mouth got to get fed, right? So like if you're building out this incredible team, hey, look, these people are dependent on us being true to our word. Us going out and creating the opportunities, right? Like taking this time out. Okay, hey, this is going to generate business. Okay, cool. I have to spend the time there, or I have to track that lead, or I have to follow up with these people. So there's that accountability component. And a lot of times, again, for listeners that aren't, maybe not used to that, right? If you're coming from, like, let's say, an employee kind of mindset and wanted to go out and kind of venture out and do your own thing, you have to implement this, right? You still have to have that element of accountability, and that's what I'm hearing from Mike and Bo here in terms of operating their businesses. I'll go back a little bit kind of to some of that, let's say the lead tracking. So a technical question and kind of more of a mindset question. You guys have obviously generated a ton of momentum. And so that's one thing that I've noticed. It's like, okay, over the years, man, the more irons that you've got going in the fire, the more momentum that you build. It's like, I just can't help but to see opportunity there and there and there and there and there. And so it's like, it's contagious, right? Like you're just like, let's go.
Exactly.
And so it's like, body in motion tends to stay in motion, right?
Amen.
How important has your mindset been to actually maintain that? Because at a certain point, you're like, man, we've got 43 businesses right now. What was it that was like, hey, we're back at 20, and you know what, Bo, I think we're good. Like, what drives you to go another mile and say, no, we need 23 more, right? Because then you're that much further down the road. But what kind of motivation do you have to kind of internally get going in order to keep that momentum going?
I'd say the main thing is we enjoy what we're doing. So we got a buddy that spends at least 5 days a week on the golf course. And I don't know how long golf takes, but it seems like it takes all day long. But he doesn't golf and I don't golf. And I haven't watched a football game this season. I haven't watched a basketball game this season. I've never watched a hockey game in my life. I've never watched a basketball. And there's just so much, but this is my golf for me personally. And Bo's the same way. We enjoy what we're doing. And we are at a point now where we do cut the pie up. So there is family time. There is travel time. There are those things. But at the same time, when we're at work, we are loving what we do. And so it's fun to do. This is what we're playing. So when we get a deal, it feels really good. In those relationships, we're with really good people. We're doing really fun stuff. And it's contagious. And it's an energy around us that just, it's fun. You go to work every day, you're the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't get better than that, right? So why would Kid Rock give up his position just because he's gotten older? Bullshit. Keep singing. Why are the Stones hitting the road again? Jesus Christ, they're 80 years old because it's badass. It's fun to be quarterback.
And they're not doing it just for the money. And that's the thing with
they
us.
got tons of money. They're having a blast. We're having a blast. This is our Rolling Stones moment.
We have friends that have retired recently and they look back and they're like talking to us whenever we get together and they're like, when are you guys going to quit? And like Mike said, the objective wasn't to get this amount of money and then, okay, call it quits and then go do what we want. We're doing what we want. We enjoy it. I feel we're so fortunate because we're doing what we want. We're making money doing it.
Yes.
And then the freedom that money is allowed from all the hard work that we've put in, we're doing some cool shit. I mean, we have anything and everything that we want at our beck and call. And that's because of the efforts that we've put in over 30 plus years of just grinding. So why wouldn't you keep doing it? It's
And we
fun.
love our employees too, and the jobs that we're able to provide. The culture you can build in these different companies, and you see people that are putting their heart into something that you thought of 20 years ago, and they bought into it, and they're still there, and now their kids are working there.
Yes.
It becomes a weird thing that you feel a little obligation to keep this house of cards going, man. We're rocking and rolling, and people are counting on us to provide jobs. So we hit a pandemic. Guess what? We didn't lay anybody off. We didn't fire anybody. We kept going. We worked through it. We figured the F out. And then guess what? When you look back, you go, wow, and the team is still there. And so I want to keep going. So that's why we don't shut it down, because it's fun. And it's fun to see the people that believe in your vision for whatever company you're in. And we take that to real estate too. In furniture, I said, try to provide an unbelievable furniture buying experience. Our partner, Philip, that runs Houston Motorsports, the best retail guy in the world.
Yes,
way better than me. And I get to spend time with him and his family. It couldn't be better. So we keep going. And then on the real estate part, we try to be amazing landlords. We do multifamily. I tell the lady that runs most of our multifamilies in this area, I had to switch them. I go, don't call me. Send a check, fix the shit, and rent it out for a fair price. Well, what about this wall needs to be painted? I go, if you need to paint the wall, paint the wall. You need to paint the house, paint the house. Make it badass for the tenant. If you think the floor needs to be repaired, you don't need to call me if you're an honest person and I want to have a long-term relation. I go, don't call me for anything. Just take care of everything. Send me a check at the end of the month. And guess what? She goes, I can work under those conditions. And guess what? She don't call me anymore.
And we're making money.
We're making money. And people and our tenants have nice new floors when they need it. And they have nice new this. And they don't have to go, well, just paint that one wall or just replace the flooring in that one room. Bullshit, man. We're replacing it all. So we pay a little more, but we're able to charge a little more. And we have happy tenants that stay longer. We don't split hairs with shit, man. Just pay the price, make the place look badass.
Take the high road.
Take the high road every time. Guess what? We didn't make quite as much money on this pool because we had to come back because we made a mistake. Admit you made a mistake. Fix the problem. Don't pass the cost on to anybody else. It's your problem because one of our employees makes some mistakes. It means we made a mistake. We didn't train well enough.
Yeah.
So you own everything, man.
I like that because it's like you're owning it from the top, but then you're also allowing them to take ownership, let's say, of the role, right? To deliver. Like you're saying, right, to the property manager, like, hey, yeah, you guys make the call. Like, I don't need to answer, okay, well, what color are we going to put on the wall? That kind of deal. It's like, no, I want you to own that.
Thank you.
Deliver. And because like that, I totally understand that. Like some people are just going to perform, you allowing them to kind of walk into that role to say, hey, look, as long as this thing is profitable, let's make this work, right? I'm going to give you ownership of that role. Now that encourages them to say, oh, okay, I'm not going to be micromanaged, right? Like you guys aren't going to micromanage me? Like you're not going to have your thumb on top of me and I'm going to screw up because I'm going to paint the wall the wrong color and whatever. It's like, well, no, like, yeah, I want this thing to be profitable. I don't need to be there every day. I didn't buy the business or the company or the property in order to kind of micromanage you. So no, I like that. I like that.
Empower the people.
That mindset of it, looking at it.
Right. Like Bo just said, power the people.
Yeah. It's amazing what happens whenever you do put that on people, because people want to be led, but at the same time, they want to know that they have a purpose and that you value their opinion. You value what they bring to the company. And then also whenever you're an entrepreneur, your time is valuable. So many times people devalue what their time is worth. They're going to go chase something all the way across town for $100 or this or that, rather than just making the call or let somebody else make the call on it. You are wasting your time.
Yes. You can't, when we have a business partner who's my brother who's out in Texas, and that's the Texas connection. And he's a badass, just like us. We're chasing the same football, but he's much more in control of how he runs his office. I mean, we're all partners. I mean, we get there, we own just as much as he does, but he really has a hard time not picking the color of the paint. And so he is involved in a lot of stuff that Bo and I, when we're out there, we're just going, that's not the way we would do it. But we don't have to be in control of our partners either. You know what I mean? So like how we don't have to be in control. So
if he wants to manage that way, let him manage that way.
It's not
if
how
he
we
wants
do
to
it.
pick the pizza party and he wants to decide whether it has pepperoni and sausage or just pepperoni, let him have it.
Yeah, he gets involved in the menu at the Christmas party. What I say is put it together, make sure it's badass. I'll be there at what time? Then I'm there and I don't care. If you think that food's badass, I'm good. But he wants to pick the menu. It's just a different way of running a business and there's nothing wrong with it. But we choose to do it this way where we just empower the people, give the second string guy the ball and see how far he can run. Yeah. Sometimes he'll blow your mind. right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, and you'd be surprised, and you're not able to know that, right? If you're the ones that are just like, hey, you know what? No, it has to be run our way,
Yeah.
right? And then you're going to end up, let's say, with your brother. You said,
Yeah,
right?
it's my brother. Yeah.
If you're trying to micromanage him, especially from a distance, right?
Right.
He's going to end up being like, no, screw you guys. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to be. I'm going to go do my own thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm
We're
not.
all entrepreneurs. We don't need babysitters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it turns into, hey, you know what? No, we have a better partnership now because of this, right? It's
Yep.
like, hey, you run your shop the way you want to, like just like you said earlier, we're all partners in this. I give you free reign to do that. That's totally fine, and we're in agreement with that, right? It's like that communication, that expectation component, right? It's like, well, look, that's not my expectation. It's not to micromanage you. I want to give you free reign to go and kind of do what you need.
Just like with you saying that, Bo and I got that unspoken agreement. There's just things that he's better at than me. And so he already knows it. I already know it. So when it comes time to negotiate a certain way, he's the guy. He's much better than I am. He's much better with the long sell than me. I'm much better with, guess what? I talk fast. I do everything fast, and I want the deal to go fast. Well, not all deals can go fast. When it is time to go fast, they send me in. Or if, hey, it gets a little awkward, they'll send me in. When the relationship needs to go a little longer, Bo's just better at it. So when they start talking sports, I just start looking over there, and he knows every single player on every single team. So guess what? That works. But if you want to talk business, then that works. So when we're talking really slow out in Texas, Dino takes the lead because they want to talk about cows and shit I could care less about. But they like to eat lunch all the time. I can't stand stopping to go have lunch for a business meeting. Every business in Texas, those son of bitches sit down and have lunch. We eat standing up, man. So everyone's different, but as long as you're going up to the same football,
Yeah,
who cares?
exactly. It's worked out.
He does his things his way. I do mine. My brother does his, and we give total respect because my way is not the right way for anybody else but me. His way is his way, and then we work together. And he gives me ideas, I give him ideas, and as long as you're open and let everyone be who they want to be and go after the same football, we're good.
Complementary skill sets. It definitely sounds like, and then I think that's vital for, let's say, partnerships. I mean, that's vital in life in general, right? Like that's a marriage, that's a friendship.
Yes.
You got to stand down once in a while.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's right. Well, guys, I have kind of part of our show that we transition into something we call the fire round. Just a little bit more kind of rapid fire, just more quick answer Q&A. Is that something you guys are up for?
Sure.
All right.
Perfect.
Right on. So I'll ask each of you that you guys can both kind of individually answer the same question. All right. So what's the best book that you recommend for us real estate guys? It's the Purple Bible. It's for most of it's a Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So other than, let's say, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, do you guys have a go-to book recommendation? And honestly, this could be for business. This could be for mindset, could be for entrepreneurship. Any good recommendations you guys would have?
I know what Mike's going to say. Mindset's a huge thing for me, so I mean, entrepreneurial literature and stuff, I could see there's a few different books that are out there, but I would say like back in the day, whenever I was younger, I'd read like a few different books of Stephen Covey, and it's all about mindset, man, and people and communication. So, and it relates to everybody. I mean, not just entrepreneurs, but it relates to everybody. So if you can be a communicator and you can educate yourself up on being a better communicator, that is going to get you a long ways in life. It's going to be better marriage, better parenting skills, and then better in the workforce or entrepreneurial run they're going to make.
Right now, I'm listening to a book, Eat the Frog. And the only thing I would say about that, and it took me probably too many years to realize the value. I come from a generation where it was late night, get rich scheme, 800 numbers, or Tony Robbins, how to get motivated. Well, no one ever had to motivate me. I was rolling. I've never had an off day. So that wasn't going to help me. And the late night thing I knew was a scam. So I waited too many years to start reading books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, obviously, the Eat the Frog. But what I would say about it is we meet a lot of business people and a lot of people that want to be in business is don't get hooked on the books, man. You don't need to read a certain number you have to take action and figure it out because you're never going to you're never going to get all the answers. And there are some amazing books out there that do inspire you. But guess what, man? It's an inside job and those books aren't going to get you anywhere. And I literally have people that have read too many books. And it just gets weird about right now it's a book, read the book. And I'm not against it, but at the same time, put the fucking book down and get to work. Because that's what it takes, man. You're never going to get it all from a book. It's just, it's icing on, the books are the icing on the cake. What's the base? It's you. And you're not going to get it from a book. Either you got it, and then the icing is the books. And I love the books. I'm talking about, I'm listening to one right now. But that's not enough. You got to be in here and you got to get to work and then make a bunch of mistakes, go broke a couple times, No book is going to tell you how to fix that because every map is different. So get started. Don't get hooked on reading too many books, man. Even though I understand the value. It's the icing on the cake. It ain't the cake.
Right on.
My opinion only.
All right, next question. What is your, what do you think? You can tell I'm like passionate for sure. Like dive in, like don't sit on the sidelines.
Yes.
All right. Next question. What would you guys consider your individual superpower is?
Negotiations. Relationships and negotiations, man.
I would say that. And mine would be saying, being able to not have it my way all the time.
He does that too much though.
And honestly, that might be fair too. But honestly, I just don't have to have it my way because I'm always curious, like, well, let's see how this plays out. I would have turned left to get to that concert venue, but all right, we'll see how it plays out. I've never been down this street.
It is cool. I mean, Mike is like that tremendously. I mean, like in a meeting, he's sitting at the end. There'll be like 8 people there and everyone's just talking for 20, 30 minutes. Finally, he'll speak up. And it's just so powerful, like, because he'll stand down. And when you stand down and you shut your mouth and you just listen to everybody else in the room, things become a lot more clear because once you get into the debate or the banter or whatever it is and making decisions, you kind of get unclear about
why you're there in the first place.
Yes. And so he's honestly always been really good about that, about just standing down. And then whenever he does speak, it travels and people get it.
Right.
So I'd say that's huge.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's really good. And I think I probably know Mike's answer on this one, but what's the biggest lesson that you've learned over your career thus far?
Honestly, the biggest lesson is I should have started building my team earlier. There wasn't the internet before when we started. I feel like everybody young has the cheat sheet in front of them. It's called an iPad or your phone. Every answer's there. And I didn't realize I could ask for help. I did try to surround myself with smart guys, like joining the Rotary Club, too young because I wasn't prepared to slow down and start giving back yet. I was still trying to take. So, but I'd say that would be it. I wish in hindsight, I wish I would have started building a team and putting the value of like, oh, I'm going to need a team to do this, whether it's accountants and stuff. I needed a team early on, and everyone knows that now. It's something that people talk and say keywords or whatever, but I would have built a team sooner, and I'm sorry I didn't.
Yeah. I would say if you recognize something special within yourself and you feel like you have it, just go.
Yeah.
Just go. Because when you're younger, if you listen to family members that aren't doing what you want to be doing and you're taking their advice, or your mom or your aunt or your grandfather, or whoever it is, that could slow you down and you're never going to know until you get going. And so if you have something special about you that you identify and you got that mindset, Mike even broke loose the other day. He goes, this always sounds weird, but he goes, I knew I had something special when I was a young man. He goes, I knew that I had something that I wanted to put out there. And he goes, you kind of stand back and you want to be humble. We're always big about being humble. And any partner, or younger person that we bring into our operation, we talk to them about be humble. But when you recognize that you have something and you've got that burning desire to be an entrepreneur or invest in real estate or do it, whatever you want to do, just go do it. Don't think, well, I gotta get more education on it. I gotta understand it better. You'll understand as you go. We're learning every freaking day.
Yeah.
We're still learning
Every day. Sometimes you feel so stupid. You're like, oh, wow.
some mistake.
Another that big of a mistake, but who cares? What, we should read a book about it? No, figure it out.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'll bet you $100 of sunrises tomorrow.
Yep.
And hey, and none of us are getting out alive. So what do you got to lose?
Yeah.
You got nothing to lose.
Let's go.
Well, you're going to die sooner or later. It might be tonight. Should have tried harder today.
Yeah, no, that's really good. All right. And then what's for the busy working professional, somebody who's trying to work towards financial freedom? What advice would you have for them?
I don't care. Like I said before, I don't care if it's a W-2 employee. We're at the age now where we're starting to see, like when you're young, you see your buddies, you're in the teens, and you see your buddies, they're in the 20s, and then you see your buddies, you're in your 30s. Well, now our buddies are in their 50s. And now when we talk to them, even though they've had successful lives, they didn't plan on them not bringing in the money. So whether they've got a 401k that's full, they got their Social Security, but it's not enough to do the things that we are doing and that people want to do. So even if you're 20 something and you don't feel like grinding or quitting your TSA job, go buy a duplex or fourplex. Your 15-year self will thank you. And you'll have $4,000 extra a month to go travel and do whatever the hell you want with. So keep doing whatever you're doing. But if you're not buying real estate, look at yourself when you're 50 something and think where you're going to be. You'll be better off if the properties you bought when you're 20 and 30 are paid for when you're 50 and 60 and you hang on to them long term. We don't do any flips. We own most every property we've ever bought, and that's how we stack them up. So buy a piece of real estate that's in a decent condition that you can keep your job or whatever you're doing, and it'll pay for itself. It'll go up in value. Your tenants will pay down the debt. You'll have depreciation. You will not lose if you hang on to the property. If you don't die, you win in real estate. So just don't die. And that's the other thing. Take care of yourself. You idiots out there eating like shit and not exercising. How stupid are you? You want to be an entrepreneur? First, take care of yourself and then take care of your business.
Yeah, great advice. Don't die.
Don't die. That's my goal. Don't die today.
Well, I want to definitely point our audience to being able to connect with you guys. I also want to give you a little bit of time to talk about, look, they can reach out to you guys. You offer coaching, you offer mentorship. Kind of tell the listeners a little bit about what you guys have going on and then how they can reach out to learn more about that.
Okay. We, like we talked about earlier, we got a great team. We got some junior coaches that are working for us that have done acquisitions for us for years, and help identify properties, understand all the inner workings that Mike and I have going out there, whether it's multifamily, verbos, light industrial, flex space, even residential. I mean, we are in every avenue of real estate. So what happened to Mike and I is we had a lot of people that were stopping in our office in our local community that hey, Mike, Bo, you guys got a minute? I want to talk to you. I'm looking to do this. I'm looking to do that. So we started coaching people up on that. Then as we actually put a coaching program out there, it's been wildly successful, man. We got young entrepreneurs and young real estate investors that we've been coaching over the last couple of years that are closing their first deal with zero money down. And people say, oh, it's bullshit. No, it happened, man. And it was because we coached them through how to get the project done. It doesn't happen all the time like that. But then we got high-end developers that are coming to us to help them develop real estate deals on flex space and self-storage, because we're in that. We've grinded through it. We've made the mistakes on development deals. We've made the mistakes on acquisitions of dilapidated properties and how to fix them up and where your best money's spent. So we've got a shitload of knowledge from me and Mike and a lot of our partners that are in our 43 different companies. So we've been able to help out a lot of people. So we've got from coaching calls on a weekly basis to we got larger packages to help people close their first deal, to we got really large packages that are bringing people into our office once a month and actually going from development to completion. So it's nice. The thing about it is Mike and I started out grinding and bumping our heads against the wall for 20, 30 years with no mentor, no one to help us other than a few people in our local community. Well, with getting on social media and getting our name out there, it's nice because we charge a fee for doing it. But guess what? It is saving those people so much money.
And making them money.
And it's making them money at the same time. And Mike and I, we would have paid anything to have somebody in our corner, just like what we're able to be there for a lot of other people. So we've got a coaching call once a week. Like I said, we've got a mentorship program. We've got our courses. People can reach out to us and text us at 928-605-4335. Just shoot us a text from there. You can DM us on Mike and Bo, and we'll be there on to answer any of those questions that you might have about some of the programs that we have. And reach out to us, man. We love helping people out.
Check out our content, TikTok, Facebook,
Instagram, YouTube.
But it's Mike and Bo.
The place.
Yeah. And we're here and we answer. I mean, we're the guys. So it's not impossible to get a hold of us. We love talking business with people, like-minded people. We give you the time of day, man. We'll talk to you. We make time for that.
And I don't have to be local to do that, right? Like
No.
I'm based in Hawaii. Obviously, we've got a bunch of listeners. I mean, we've got listeners all over the country.
Yeah.
But we don't have to be there in your home market.
We can help. We can help underwrite a deal. Send it to us. We got people that, hey, you know what? Well, guess what? We got
one guy in our coaching program that yesterday before you took off, he's got a land deal, and he's been buying land and then he's been wholesaling it out and doing really well with it. Well, he found some bigger parcels that he wants to do some stuff with. Doesn't have quite a bit enough capital. We got off the call with him the other day, and Mike goes, I feel like we just got another partner, man. We just opened another business. I go, I feel the same way, man. He's a grinder. We met him through our coaching program and social media, and we're looking forward to doing big deals with him.
He brought in a deal that's too big for him to chew. We'll take a bite of it and join in. So as long as it all makes sense and you have quality people that are humble and not greedy and are in it for the long term, we're good, man.
Like Mike said, we're talking to him on the phone, and it's never one of those things when we're coaching and they goes, oh yeah, I was going to do that.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, no, I meant to do that. Or no, he always is like, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I'll do that. Yep. And then you might even have an answer to come back and go, hey, I got a spreadsheet. I've already done that. Check this out. And you're like, oh, this dude's a badass.
Right. So
Coachable. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very coachable.
you can't push a string, right? So you got to have the type of people that are hungry already. And now you just need a little bit of direction. Dude, we're here.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Right
So
on. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for hopping on with me today with our listeners. Again, I get to learn. I get the benefit of hopping on and being able to take advantage and learn from you guys' extensive background, your experience. I know it's been a treat for our listeners as well. We'll definitely make sure to leave links down in the show notes for all of our listeners to be able to reach out in all the socials and be able to connect with you guys. So, but I definitely appreciate you guys hopping on with me today and with all of our listeners. I wish you nothing but success, and I look forward to connecting with you guys in the future, circling back. Where
Definitely.
it's not going to be
Please.
43 businesses. I think maybe the next time I talk to you, maybe
we'll see.
Let's do it.
but
All right.
yeah, no, I definitely appreciate you guys, and thank you for taking time out of your day to hop on and share with us.
Right on, man. I would love it.
Thank you very much, man. We appreciate you.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Aloha.
Thank you.
All right, great episode with Mike Merrigan and Bo Kort. But they got a wealth of experience, a wealth of knowledge that they are able to draw from just through running all of their individual companies. They've got multiple different companies. They're in so many different facets of business out in the marketplace. And that's something we talked a little bit about throughout in our show was just the amount of momentum that you're being able to build doing that. But it's hard to do that. It's hard to get going. It can be. A body at rest tends to stay at rest. A body in motion tends to stay in motion, right? So as soon as you're able to start building up momentum, it just gets it gets so much easier than just starting from a standstill. So, what that was one of the things that they were encouraging was like, look, don't be afraid to make mistakes. And that is a recurring theme. If you guys have not, if you, for long-time listeners to the show, you definitely would know that. That is an absolutely recurring theme through some of the most wildly successful guys that we've had, men and women that have been on the show. It's just not being afraid to make the mistakes, get started, get going. If it's a dream that you've always had to start a business, or you wanted to venture away from the W-2, or it's just something you want to augment your W-2 income, get going, right? Whether that be through real estate, whether that be through business, right? So that's definitely something that I appreciate about them. 43 businesses that they've got going, and it's just such a wide range too. They're in real estate, they're in motorsports, furniture. So anything that's focused on cash flow. And I think that's one of those things that once you have the blueprint, right? My partner Duran, right? D will talk a lot about that. Is just having the blueprint, right? It's like, hey, look, we want to make income through these businesses, and then we're going to move it over into assets like real estate, hard assets, tangible assets. And that's exactly what it sounds like Mike and Bo have done as well. Focus on generating tons of cash flow. And then they're able to park that into long-term, either more cash flow producing assets, or obviously they're always going to be typically tax advantaged and just long-term wealth building. So yeah, no, definitely enjoyed having them on the show. Go back, take a closer listen to the episode as well. You may need to rewind a few different points to be able to glean from it as much as possible. And guys, if you guys are, local here, you guys want to connect with us, every month we have a local real estate meetup that's focused on multifamily. I've heard it from multiple people, and I know it personally. You're just not going to find a group. You're not going to find an environment that's just going to be better for just connecting with like-minded individuals, especially on a multifamily level, than coming out to our local meetups here on island. So if you're visiting, you're coming from international, or you're traveling from the mainland and you want to connect with like-minded individuals, people who are wanting to grow their portfolios, grow their personal business, scale up into commercial, into multifamily, or commercial, maybe on another level, just come, you're welcome to come out and join us. So check out our Facebook group, Honolulu Multifamily and More. You can find us on BiggerPockets, meetup.com. But we'd love to be able to meet you in person. So we have those every month. So we've got another one coming up soon. Also, of course, if you guys are finding value in the podcast, please share it. Please leave a review too. We're trying to grow the channel, and the only way we can do that is if we're getting feedback from you guys and getting great reviews. That definitely helps out for all of the platforms, for us to be able to get this content out to you guys and bring bigger and better guests on that can help to deliver more value for you guys. All right, guys. Well, I hope you're starting your new year off right, that you're setting the right goals, leveling up expectations for yourself, creating opportunities for others. But I really, really look forward to all that this coming year has in store. So thank you so much for tuning in as always. Again, go out, take some action, guys, and we will see you on the next episode. Aloha.